Should you spend the extra cash on the new iPad mini or save some and get the old one? I'm Taylor Martin, this is Pocket Now, and this is the old iPad mini versus the iPad mini with Retina display. Last year, Apple released the first edition of the 7.9-inch iPad lineup, dubbed the iPad mini. Compared to its full-sized iPad sibling, the mini was seemingly a bit of a trade-off, a cut in power and quality in favor of additional portability, thanks to a reduction in both size and weight. That trade-off, or what many perceived as a compromise, was the pitfall of the iPad mini. But Apple is at it again, and this time it's no holds barred. Is the iPad mini with Retina display the reboot the iPad mini lineup needed? Or does it still leave much to be desired? Let's take a look. We're not going to bore you with the intricate details when it comes to hardware. Just know this, the old iPad mini and iPad mini with Retina display feature virtually identical designs and build quality. They bear the same chassis, or almost the same chassis. Some adjustments were made to account for the Retina display and additional battery. At 200mm tall, 134.7mm wide, and 7.5mm thick, the new iPad mini is just 0.3mm thicker than last year's model. The Wi-Fi only model of the original mini was 308 grams, while the LTE model, the one we have on hand, is 312. Just a tad heavier is the new iPad mini with Retina display, 331 grams. The only other notable difference is the addition of another mic near the top edge on the new iPad mini, and of course, the LTE antenna cover, which our new Wi-Fi only iPad mini does not have. Aside from that, the major differences are all on the inside. Last year's mini came in 3 storage capacities, 16, 32, and 64GB, with 512 MB of RAM. It's powered by an A5 chip, composed of a 1 GHz dual-core CPU and a dual-core GPU. It's fitted with a 5-megapixel rear camera and a 1.2-megapixel front camera, and keeping things running is the 16.3 watt-hour battery. The iPad mini with Retina display offers one additional storage option, 128GB. It comes with 1GB of DDR3 RAM, and it's powered by the new A7 chipset, a 1.3 GHz dual-core CPU, and a quad-core GPU. It too has a 5-megapixel camera around back and 1.2-megapixel camera up front, but its battery is rated at 23.8 watt-hours. As indicated by the name, the biggest difference, however, is the display. Both are 7.9-inch IPS LCD panels, but the original iPad mini came with a resolution of 1024 by 768 pixels, a density of 162 pixels per inch. The Retina display iPad mini bears a resolution of 2048 by 1536 pixels, and a density of 324 pixels per inch. And the difference can't be understated. Color seems slightly more saturated on the original iPad mini, but differences in contrast, brightness, and black levels are indistinguishable to the naked eye. The Retina display appears more neutral in temperature, whereas the original errs on the warm side. And the difference in clarity is incredible. Details are simply lost on the original iPad mini display, yet the finer details are accentuated on the Retina display. It's an impressive difference, and if you're a pixel junkie like many of us here at Pocket Now, this is all you need to see to justify the difference in price. Edges of icons are smooth and text is sharp. The original mini offers jagged edges on just about everything. Individual pixels are visible, and this is not an issue on the new model. In hardware alone, these two devices look virtually identical, but turn on the display and it's clear which takes the cake in this battle. Not to mention, the upgraded internals are much needed and welcomed. Software between these two tablets is identical, feature for feature. Essentially, iOS 7 looks more fresh and cleaner with a handful of new features, such as Control Center, AirDrop, and improved task switching. If you'd like to see more on iOS 7, we've extensively covered it in walkthrough videos and previous reviews. The other important difference between last year's iPad mini and the new mini is performance. The difference in the A5 and A7 chips is staggering. Apart, you may not immediately see a difference. The A5 is decent at running everyday tasks and simple applications. However, its performance in gaming sometimes suffers. Thanks to the 2 additional GPU cores, double the RAM, and a more efficient CPU, the A7 doesn't show any signs of lag or stutter, even in graphic-intensive gaming. Both open applications and switch applications quickly, but the newer iPad mini is a half beat ahead of the older mini at just about everything it does. The difference in benchmark performance may help put it into perspective a bit, if that's your sort of thing. The new iPad mini finishes the SunSpider JavaScript test while the old mini is just getting warmed up, and it finishes nearly 3 times faster. The speakers you would expect to be virtually identical. but they have their differences. Located in the same place, one on each side of the lightning port along the bottom edge, the older iPad mini speakers have a little more punch behind them, providing more volume, yet the iPad mini with Retina display speakers sound more full. After extensive time with the old iPad mini, its battery life was always pretty impressive, only needing to be charged every other day with heavier usage. It's possible to run the battery down entirely in a single day, but it takes some determination. So far, the newer iPad mini is much of the same story. The Retina display and A7 warranted a larger battery, but Apple has seemingly maintained the 10-hour standard. We'll provide more detail in the full review. Finally, cameras. They're fairly comparable between the two generations. Sometimes the new iPad would provide a washed out image with a poor focus. The next time the old iPad mini would, and the newer iPad would take a better shot. Every time it was back and forth, and the only consensus we can come to is, both are decent at taking pictures. Not bad, not great, and still just as awkward to hold and shoot with. The answer to the $100 question, which is the better buy, is quite obvious. The iPad mini with Retina display offers the same great design and only adds 0.3mm to the thickness and 23 grams to its heft, while also improving the specs across the board. It has a significantly better display, performance is noticeably more smooth, and it comes with an additional storage option and twice the RAM. We'd be hard-pressed to recommend the older iPad mini to anyone who values performance and display quality. That said, you can get more bang for your buck with last year's model. It's $100 cheaper than the current model, and at $300 it's not a bad deal. Simply put, however, the iPad mini with Retina display is just a better deal at $400. If you're even considering the iPad mini with a Retina display, go for it. You'll be much happier in the end. That's all for now, folks. If you enjoyed the video, let us know by clicking the thumbs up button below and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one in the future, as well as more iPad mini coverage over the next few weeks. Be sure to follow us in all the usual places, Twitter, Google+, and Facebook at Pocketnow. I'm Taylor Martin. You can find me on Twitter at KesperTech, and I will see you next time.